What just happened? I'm Dan. That's Jules. That's Bagface. And today we're here to talk the season finale of Presumed Innocent, episode 8, called The Verdict. All right, let's say it right away. Then we'll do the breakdown. Some people called it during the live stream. Some people called it all along during the comments. It was Jaden, and it was Rusty that tied her up. Wow. Crazy
Which
ending.
makes sense. It totally makes sense. I'm still a little sad it wasn't Tommy, but
me too.
I can still hate him though.
I think Jake Gyllenhaal's performance makes a lot of sense in retrospect. The way he frames everything in his arguments when he's like really adamant on presenting himself, it just makes so much sense. I love that it all falls into place as well as it does.
Because all along he thought it was Barbara, which, by the way, in the book and the movie, Barbara is the killer. So
I figured, yeah.
That's what people were saying a lot in the comment section, and that's
I
what
like
he
that
thought
they
all
changed
along.
it. Yeah.
I love that they changed it. I'm very happy that they changed it.
And the switch up when he's calling out Barbara, it's
it
was Barbara, and then the walk in. Whew, I know we'll get there, but goddamn, it's like they went through our comments section and they were like, we got to change the ending just to piss off a bunch of people that watch the movie. Oh, so good.
Yep, so good.
No, it's great. I loved it. I had the double oh shit text like 2 minutes apart.
yeah. You were.
I was like, oh shit, it was Barbara. Oh shit, it was Jaden.
Real quick before we get started, once we hit 5,000 subscribers, we're very close. All you got to do is hit that subscribe button. Once we hit 5K, we're giving away $75 on Venmo, and you can have 50% off on anything you want in our merch store. All right, let's get into the recap. I think this show was awesome. Excited to see what they do with season 2. New case, new cast. Apparently, we'll see. So we'll be watching it and we'll be covering it whenever that comes out. So it kicks off. Tommy calls the cops. He's like, all right, someone broke into my house. They left this fire poker. They left this note. Tommy tells Delay, who else could it be? It's so desperate. It's obviously Rusty. So he's still in this mindset. It's Rusty. That's all he's gone with. Delay goes, are you okay, Tommy? He's had a couple moments throughout this episode where he was checking in on Tommy. Like, are you okay? What's up, dude? And he's like,
I'm not going to lie. No. It made me like Delay a little bit more.
Yeah, he was likable.
He opened his mouth at one point.
I know. I was so proud. I was so proud.
So he's like, nah, my cat's upset. I'm going to bring her upstairs. And then Rusty gets the call. And then they all meet up. And the DNA was scrubbed from the fire poker. So Tommy says someone is trying to intimidate or incriminate him. And he says it's a fire poker, not the fire poker. No forced entry. He said he leaves the side door open because of the cat, but we saw the open window, so who knows how they got in, maybe the side door, maybe the window. But the judge goes, hey, I'm still willing to say it's a mistrial. What do you want to do? Delay goes, we're willing to proceed, but we're not using this fire poker as evidence.
Juries should be kept abreast of the situation. We can let them know that this should not be considered as evidence.
Later on, Rusty says, it is the fire poker. I noticed it. I remembered it, and I used it before, and luckily my DNA was on it. We'll get to it. Then Raymond and Maya are talking, and they're like, well, this doesn't really help us, and it doesn't really help the Liam Reynolds motive. And then Rusty's like,
okay, so now you want to maintain Liam Reynolds?
Well, he would have no motive to
at least question Caldwell.
And he's like, well, they at least should question Caldwell, Dalton. It would at least establish reasonable doubt that I didn't do it.
It's not about the truth. It's just about establishing reasonable doubt.
He goes, the jury will think that Rusty planted the fire poker, so this is best that we don't include it since you're the only one that has motive, so let's keep it out of it. Let's move forward. No big deal. So then Barb goes, what if it leaks to the media? Why wouldn't Tommy leak it? Because it would lead to a mistrial. Tommy doesn't want a mistrial. He thinks he's winning at this point, and he doesn't want that. And Rusty is sure it's the murder weapon. This is when he says it.
It is. There's like a chip in the handle. I recognized it.
I used it once. I'm thankful my prints weren't on it. Just said that. So, yeah, it's crazy. What do you guys think about that part, that he knew it was it?
I feel like that's weird. I wouldn't notice like one little chip in a fire poker and be able to identify it like that.
Weird things happen when you love someone, you know? You take in weird things.
That's true. That's a fair point.
Yeah. And I just thought it was funny how he was more kind of like, well, I'm fucking glad my DNA wasn't on it because I definitely used that shit to make a fire once.
Yeah.
I actually used it there once to make a fire. Got my prints weren't on it.
Yeah, right.
I thought that was a more relevant part.
Dodged a bullet on that one.
Okay, now there is an expert witness on the stand talking about food and whether or not food was in Carolyn's stomach at the time of death. There was a food receipt ordered at 8:27, delivered at 8:55. Time of death, her stomach was empty. And then Raymond goes, well, didn't Herbert say the time of death was 10 p.m.? She's like, no, he was wrong.
He's wrong. I would put the time of death between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m.
If she ate this Chinese food. And then Tommy comes up and goes, hey, what if she never ate it? You can't state that she ate Chinese food.
Yeah, that's fair, though.
And then Tommy's kind of trying to call her credibility into question, saying you're an expert witness for defense teams. You only help when it helps the defense.
You work exclusively now as an expert witness for defense teams.
And you are only here to prop up Rusty's innocence.
And should you not give a pro-defense opinion, you don't get hired.
So he kind of like pushes her aside, and she can't say.
I think it's stupid, though. Isn't that the whole point of witnesses? I guess not. I guess not expert witnesses. That's a little different.
Right.
They're supposed to give like an unbiased opinion, right?
Yeah,
I
sure.
was wondering though, is that allowed in actual court to call someone that's on the stand, be like, "Hey, aren't you like paid and kind of lying for the defense?"
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I don't think they can.
I don't know. I get he maybe
I don't know the
tread
law,
the
though,
line
so.
pretty well or something, but good
His
play
main-
on Tommy.
It was good play, and his main point was you can't confirm that she had Chinese food in her stomach or not. And she's
Right.
like, no, I can't confirm that.
Yeah.
And then they're talking about, okay, so if the time of death was 1 a.m. to 3 a.m., can we confirm that you were here at midnight? And Barb goes, I can vouch for him. And Maya's like, no, we can't, because then they'll call you. You're biased. It's an easy opportunity to paint Rusty in a negative light. Maya knows about Clifton.
Does he know about Clifton? Friendly neighborhood bartender?
They had a PI follow her. She brings up all this dirt. She's like, see all this stuff that would come up? You cannot go on the stand. So there you go. And then they're talking about who's going to close. Rusty's like, I'm closing. Raymond disagrees. Raymond says, you have no credibility with the jury.
I was just gonna say I was nervous about this, but it was better than I thought.
Yeah, he did well.
But continue.
Yeah. He's like, hey, doubt from the jury worked for me. Doubt from my lawyers and from my best friend.
Doubt from my lawyers? That doesn't work. And from my best friend? That doesn't work either.
Doesn't work for me. I can handle this. Let me take care of it. Lorraine tells Ray to withdraw from the case. He's like, not happening, not possible. Judge wouldn't even let me at this point. She calls Rusty not well. A lot of people speculate about Lorraine's motives and how much she hated Rusty all along, but it turned out to be some type of a red herring.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think she genuinely does hate Rusty for putting Raymond through all that, but
Yeah.
I
he
never
almost
really
died.
thought that was relevant enough for her to like why would she kill Carolyn for that?
And he goes, listen, this is it. I'm going to retire after this case. So this is it. And now we see Rusty practicing his closing arguments. And then Jaden walks in. Now we know she's the killer. And she's like, do you need any help? He's like, this is my best chance that I close, because she's kind of worried about it at the moment.
I've done this before. I got this.
Okay.
So he's very confident in himself. And we'll see that in just a second. And then we see a couple clips. Kyle's pitching the ball against the wall again, the tennis ball against the wall. Jaden's like standing in the pool. Barb looks anxious, and then we're back at court. Ray says, don't go off on how Tommy is the real killer. As the jury walks in, he agrees. He was kind of daydreaming of Carolyn in the moment, but he agrees. He's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
I feel like as soon as they said that, I knew it wasn't going to be Tommy.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So defense is up first. Rusty walks up. He faces the jury. He does his intro. Goes, evidence proves that I betrayed my family. I will never undo that. I will never gain their respect back. But the evidence does not prove that I killed her, because I didn't. I had an affair with her. I got her pregnant. I learned that she was pregnant after she died. I was there the night she died, among many other nights. So that's why my fingerprints were at her apartment. There's no evidence that points to me that I killed her. Only evidence that I was at her apartment. And then he brings up how Tommy says that everyone loved her. He goes, that's true.
Well, so did I. I cared for her so much. I loved her.
I want to know who did it. I want to get them. I want them to face justice for what they did.
And I, like many people, want to know who did this. I want to get who did this.
But we see how the season ends, so I guess he really doesn't.
Well, yeah, seriously. But I mean, I thought he did a really great job with this.
Me too. Yeah.
Also, Jake Gyllenhaal,
Ah.
just so damn good. This
Yeah,
whole
he's great.
monologue was just great. Like the character Rusty did great, but Jake Gyllenhaal also did great.
I was so captivated by it. Yeah, it was so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
It was so
Yeah,
good.
and then he points to Tommy. He's like, Tommy's just trying to settle for me.
He will settle for the next best thing, namely me. And boy, do I fit the bill.
You know, it could have been Michael Caldwell, the son. It could have been Dalton Caldwell, the father.
There were other people who had fixations on Carolyn.
The son was there the night of. He had access to the Money Davis file. They were never investigated. Why? It makes you wonder, doesn't it? He's like, 15 years I've been a prosecutor. I would never, ever pin something on someone without such lack of evidence that someone actually did it. There's no forensic evidence. Other people could have done it. He brings up Liam Reynolds. There's so much reasonable doubt. Why are we even here?
So reasonable doubt exists in abundance, which begs the question, why are we even here?
So that's his speech. Really good job. I thought he did a great
and like
job.
all factual.
Yeah.
He makes some great points.
And then there's a couple other things he says. He goes, prosecutors are also politicians, by the way. And I thought that was a nice little jab in there. Yeah. He's like, they think I'm their best shot to close this case. Tommy has wanted me from the beginning. He's on the mission. It's not about Tommy. It's not about Carolyn in this aspect. It's about justice. It's about the jury. You guys took an oath. You must find proof without reasonable doubt. I accept your contempt. I deserve it as a husband, as a father, as a man. But I didn't kill her. That's why there's no evidence that I did not kill her, because I didn't. I'm not honorable, but I hope you guys are. And it's a really nice speech. Raymond approves. He gives him a little pat on the back. I'm like, yeah, Raymond's my man. Raymond's my man.
Did you write down that whole speech?
Some of it, but most of it. Yeah, most of it. I was typing my ass off. I'll let you know.
I love the dedication. I love it. I'm just picturing you like.
You can see our show notes if you join our Discord. All you gotta do is become a YouTube member and then message me on Instagram or Twitter. And then it's Tommy's turn. It wasn't just about love. It was obsession. The first 48 hours are crucial.
As chief deputy prosecutor, he had a unique opportunity to do so. In fact, he headed the investigation.
He didn't disclose that he was in a relationship with her. It's not behavior of an innocent man. He lied and concealed.
What did he do during that critical time? He withheld information. He obstructed.
And he brings up how he attacked Herbert and he beat up Brian. So that's what he's going with. And he says his good friend Eugenia even said that he was losing himself. He brings up the 30 texts, all stuff that we've already been through before, right? He's kind of just rehashing the same thing, trying to make it out to look like Rusty did it. And then he shows the images again, the brutal images of her being tied up and slaughtered. And then he calls Rusty desperate, calls him a sociopath for saying Michael could have done it. And he's begging you to look at me, Tommy, that I did it.
He's begging you to look at me. Look at me. Take a good, hard look at me.
But I'm begging you to take a good hard look at Rusty, because this is not a good man and he did it. So that's Tommy's piece. What do you guys think of Tommy's piece?
I don't know. I feel like he relied so much on like emotion and just like making Rusty out to be the bad guy, but like he didn't really present any hard evidence.
I knew he lost at this point. I was like, there's no way they're gonna convict Rusty, whether he did it or not. He's not getting convicted. I knew it at this point.
It was a good play by Rusty. It almost felt like he knew exactly what Tommy was going to do, because he knew what he would do in that situation, where he's like, okay, I'm going to go back over the evidence. I'm going to shock them, showing them the crime scene photos, try and get them in an emotional state, because then they're more likely to convict. I think Rusty kind of preempting that with going through the evidence himself and kind of being like, none of this it actually proves anything. It just proves that I kind of suck. Yeah, man, you kind of do. Yeah, and it was smart for him to kind of bring that into play as like, I am not a good person, and then Tommy just kind of painting him as
Tommy's
not
like, he's not a good person.
Yeah,
yeah. Rusty's like, I know. Like, I just said that.
Yeah, it's kind of like in 8 Mile. Yes.
Yeah.
Eminem, you read my mind. Eminem talking shit on himself, so they had nothing left to say. Yeah, that's exactly right. So flashback, Rusty and Carolyn, it was during one of their cases, saying waiting is the worst part, because this is when the jury is deliberating, trying to figure out the verdict. And he says the longer the jury deliberates, the more in favor of the defense, which turns out to be true in this aspect. So Delay goes to see Tommy, one of my favorite scenes, and it really made me like Delay in this moment. He says, we might as well go home. It could be a while. I'm worried about your cat.
Besides, I do worry about the cat.
And Tommy kind of goes fuck off about that. And then Tommy's like, this was his insurance policy all along, the fire poker. That could be, if he gets convicted, then he could get a retrial because of this fire poker. That was his plan all along. And he goes, dude, tell me the truth here on a personal level.
How much did you love her? Really?
Be real, bro. Be real. Really good call by Delay. I really liked him in this moment. He really delivered that question perfectly. But then Eugenia walks in. She goes, hey, we have a verdict. So here it is. Everyone's suiting up. In comes the jury. The judge is handed the verdict. Hey, Rusty, please stand. Raymond stands up. Their family stands up. The clerk reads the verdict, and he is found not guilty.
The jury in the above entitled action find the defendant Rosette K. Savage not guilty.
Raymond gets his win to walk off into retirement. That's what I was most happy about. That Raymond gets his dub.
Oh, I was so happy.
He beats the people that took him down, that took his job. And then he gets to walk off into retirement, spend his life with Lorraine, doing whatever he wants. He was watering his bushes the last time we saw him. This is the first time I started thinking Jaden when they're back at home. Jaden goes, it's over, right?
It's over, right? They can't appeal or go for another trial?
And Rusty goes, yeah, it's over. It's over. And just media outside, he's like, the faster I go talk to them, the faster they'll leave. So let me go talk to them. He's gratified by the verdict. He's an innocent man, but justice is not complete. He says the murder is still unsolved, and Carolyn deserved better. Said Tommy had blinders on from day one. He lost the plot. He prioritized vendetta over the truth, and he failed Carolyn, and he failed the city.
The justice system, especially the prosecutor's office, has failed Carolyn Polimas.
Thoughts? That was a harsh line. He got Tommy there.
Yeah, I mean, he's right, though.
It annoys me, but it's almost like Tommy was right in a sense. So
yeah.
It makes it even worse that he kind of knows, and he goes on the news and he's like, hey man, you went after me when I had absolutely nothing to do with it. And in the back of his head, he's
when
like,
he tied her up.
Yeah, and he's got his fingers crossed behind his back.
It's
wink, wink.
I guess I kind of saw him as like an honest person because we're in his point of view for most of the show. So you think you'd kind of get honesty from him, but you don't actually get a lot of honesty from the character. He lies quite a lot.
And he's got that anger issue that we've seen many times throughout the show. And at this point, remember, at this point, he thinks Barbara did it. So he's saying this speech, talking shit on Tommy in the back of his mind, thinking that Barbara did it. So, yeah, that's pretty wild. So we get the last scene with Delay and Tommy together. Delay goes, yo, you did a good job. You tried your best. So he goes, Rusty beat me and I let her down. I wasn't good enough. Delay says, we need to move on. We need to do our job. There's going to be a lot more murders for us to solve in this city, unfortunately.
And personally, you need to move on from Rusty Savage.
You need to let that guy out of your mind because he's controlling you right now. There's work to be done. Let's get on with it. So Delay really ended the series being really cool, in my opinion.
He's a real one, and I hate to say it. I still hate the way he talks, but he's a real one.
Yeah. All right, we're getting to it, folks. We're getting to it. So Rusty sees bags packed. Barbara had bags packed, and she's exercising. And he goes, I guess we can take that vacay now. I see your bags are all packed, huh? Doctor's advice. Should there be a next time? Next time? Should there be a next time you impulsively strike to destroy this family? And then Rusty sits down. You know, I knew it from the beginning, and then I didn't know. And then I knew again for sure. I had to protect our family. What didn't compute is how you seemed so normal the next day. How you could kill somebody and not even wobble the next day. She says, you think I did it? He's like,
it was somebody else. But somebody in your body, like it was probably somebody else in my body who tied her up.
And at this moment, I'm like, holy shit, he tied her up? What the fuck?
Damn.
I was like so surprised by that. I did not see that coming at all. Were you guys shocked by that too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Like, I liked the idea of it being two different people, but I didn't think Rusty was one of them.
Oh, man.
I don't know if anybody guessed Rusty and Barbara.
No.
I don't think they did. Not that I know of. Or some, maybe.
It was technically Rusty and Jaden, but yeah, both. I didn't see. I don't think I saw. Both of them guessed. I don't think I saw both of them guessed.
I think I was thinking from this moment, like
from this moment.
What I was thinking in my brain was like, I did not guess both of them together, but not knowing in a way blew my mind.
The way Barbara was like, same. The way Barbara was like, "What are you talking about?" I kind of believed her. She was just like, like, what, you think I did this? Like, no. And he's like, well, I went back there that night and I saw her dead. Clearly, she was dead. I thought about calling 911, but there was only one person in my mind that could have done this. It's you.
I wonder why that was his first thought, is to tie her up like that.
To make it look like the Liam Reynolds thing. That's because that's the next thing.
He goes to try and get a confession.
Yeah. Because then Barbara says, what about Liam Reynolds?
Most confessions are easy to extract. We do it all the time. We offered him less jail, which is usually enough. It's worth a shot.
And he says it was worth a shot to get a false confession.
Yeah. It just feels like a really difficult one to replicate. Like, you could have picked something easier.
And she calls him insane and wrong. He says he's not. I tracked your car after the whole bartender situation. I know you went to Tommy's house to plant the poker. You went there. But no, she didn't. In walks Jaden.
No, she didn't.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit.
Oh, man. She goes, nope, she didn't go. I went. I thought you were going to be convicted. It was the only thing I could think to do. So I drove there in Mom's car, and I put the poker in his kitchen. Barb starts bawling her eyes out.
Jay, how did you have the fire poker?
Because Barb, it hits her.
I mean,
it hits Rusty. Yeah. Crazy. Flashback to the night of. She went there to confront Carolyn. All she wanted to do was say, stay away from my family. But she goes, it's Rusty. Rusty won't leave me alone.
It's not me. It's your father. He won't leave me alone.
She goes, quit your job and stay the fuck away from my family. She's like, I will, but our lives are going to be intertwined now.
Because I'm pregnant with his child.
And that did not sit well with Jaden whatsoever.
Do you think she would have done it still if she hadn't found out she was pregnant?
Nope, I don't think so. I think once she found out she was pregnant with Rusty's kid, that's the moment she snapped and decided to do it.
She was like, fuck that. No.
Yeah.
Yep, nope. And then that's what we see. She stands up, turns around. Jaden grabs the fire poker and beats her to death. Crazy. Really gruesome. I don't think I can clip that in for YouTube, but you guys
Probably
saw
not.
It was gruesome. So crazy shit. It all hits Rusty. She thought it was all a dream, and that whole disassociation thing, that was a really big clue for us to figure out it was Jaden. That whole scene a couple episodes ago. So yeah, and it was her cleaning the car. So, no, we saw Rusty cleaning the car too. So they were both cleaning the car at one point. But she cleaned the car. She scrubbed it all. She buried the poker in the backyard. And Rusty goes, listen, we will never speak of this day again. It was self-defense for our family. It was put in motion by me. It's my doing. It's my fault. We will survive as a family. We will be okay.
We will survive as a family.
And then you see shots from like all the characters. You see Raymond in his yard watering. He's all retired and happy now. Jaden is smiling. Serial killer in the making. She's like smiling, laying down.
It's weird to me that they're just like totally fine. Fine.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, you'd think it would be at least a little bit awkward for a while.
She was smiling. She had a smile on her face. I'll clip that in. That's fine for YouTube.
Also, it's really fucking weird because they'd have to all act like they didn't just learn all of this around the only person in their family who doesn't know, which is Kyle. Because I'm assuming they didn't tell Kyle.
Yes.
So,
Well,
yes.
see, I'm wondering if he already knows. Remember when he was asking his dad about taking a plea deal because he knew his dad was going to cover for her. But that would also explain why he was captured in a picture on his bike. Like maybe she called him and was like, "I just fucking did this. Holy shit."
Possibly.
Yeah, maybe he already
There's
knew.
Below. Do you think Kyle knew? Let us know below in the comment section. That's something to speculate about. Then we see Tommy. He's seeming to move on. He's rooting for the Bears. He's drinking a beer, and he seems to be happy as the family is cooking Thanksgiving dinner. Barb and Rusty look at each other with a half smile. That's season 1 of Presumed Innocent. Will season 2 top it? I don't know. This was amazing, guys. It's
gonna be hard.
Loved it. So good.
So
Apple
good.
TV, guys. Tell everyone you know to watch Apple TV. They deserve way more numbers than they do. There's a stat that came out today. The views Apple TV gets in 1 month are less than views Netflix gets in 1 day. We need to spread the word. Get the word out there. It's crazy. It's really crazy, and it's not fair. Apple TV makes great shit, and they deserve more praise, man. And hopefully they keep making good shit, and the numbers come. But yeah, guys, this was such a fun show to cover. Thank you guys for commenting along the way. Thank you for everyone that joined the live stream. If you want more live streams, let us know in the comment section. We're definitely down to do more. We're going to be covering Sunny starting next week. Our first video will be up Wednesday. At some point on Wednesday, it'll be episode 4 or 5 that we're going to cover. We can talk about our thoughts on the first couple episodes as a whole before we start to review, but that's going to be our next What Just Happened show, Sunny, another Apple TV show. That's the best. And then that's going to lead right into Only Murders in the Building, which I am so psyched for. Bag, you got some homework to do. You got to watch all of the seasons of that.
I do.
So
it's so good. You're going to love it.
August 28th it starts. So you got some time, but you got some homework to do. And also, Bag and I are covering House of the Dragon. Stay tuned for that coming out next Tuesday. And big one, Bag and I are covering Deadpool and Wolverine. That's going to be very, very fun. So if you're going to see that movie, we're going to have that video out on Friday. We're going to go see it on Thursday.
I'm sad I won't be here for it.
Jules is going to miss out on it, but Bag and I are going to get that video out by Friday. We're going to watch it Thursday, record Thursday, get it out by Friday. So if you want more movie reviews, comment something that you're excited for, something coming out soon, and we can do it. We're all about the community here. Whatever you guys want, we'll do. So thank you guys so much for following all along. This has been a blast. And yeah, if you want to become a member, all tiers get into our Discord. Once we hit 50 members, it'll be $5 to get into the Discord. So to get in for $1, you can do it right now. And then just hit me up on Twitter or Instagram. Say, hey, I joined, and I'll send you the link for the Discord. You can talk to us every day. You can give us show suggestions, play Wordle, whatever. It's a lot of fun. But thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Later.
Bye, guys.
Well, the defendant is a very, very good liar.
What just happened?
What just happened?
What just happened?
What just happened? That just happened.